The Lost Hero, which seems like so odd, but I do want to read it. The lighting is really bad, but I have some graphic novels.
Leaves painted gold, driving slow past the road with all the kids on their bikes going home.
It was raining, but it's
To
not.
my dog who's still alive. I am too, and are you? Can you see it with me? Man, I hate it that it's gone. Turn back, dive into the photograph.
Hello. This is going to be a month-long vlog. I'm going to be reading 30 books in 30 days. I wasn't going to do this like challenge. Some people that are part of Jan's Patreon, aka The Lair, decided to do it alongside Jan. So I decided I would do the same thing too. Originally, I was thinking of vlogging of me like going through and actually reading some audiobooks that I just recently got because I had a few credits to use. I ended up getting like 8 titles. So, and I've read one of them and I just finished it yesterday. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna say too much on my thoughts. All you need to know is if you're someone who loves books about books, then this might be for you. You've read like classics, and it actually Uriah Heep does have to do with Great Expectations. Actually, I have read that one, but this was like a while ago. Recollection of it was vague. I thought it was okay back when I read it. I read it in like 2019, so it has been a while, and I just feel like a lot of people don't know about this book. It's a book about books, and especially if you haven't read a classic but you want to before you read this, or just don't care. Classics like Great Expectations, and then there's a line from A Tale of Two Cities, Sherlock Holmes. Not much about Sherlock Holmes is like mentioned, like terms of like, oh wait, actually it is. Never mind. There are books that were mentioned and characters that were mentioned, but like I've never read those specific books. I would love to do a reread. This is definitely like a favorite book of all time. A story about 2 siblings. It's quite of a shaky relationship between the 2 of them. It's interesting to read because I love exploring, like finding books that explore complicated relationships with like loved ones or maybe just like a friend. And this is actually I thought this was set in like the UK. That was kind of the vibes I got from it, but turns out so it's set in Wellington, and I didn't know this, but this takes place in New Zealand. And I was like, because like that's not clarified until like later on, like maybe like more than halfway through. So I was just thinking like it was in the UK, but it's not. I don't want to say too much obviously, but I feel like that's like the gist of it. Anyway, this was a 5-star read. I loved it. I devoured it.
I want another chance. Swear I'll get.
By doing this challenge, I've decided to like pick up what I'm currently reading. I ended up finishing one of the books that I started, but like only read like a few pages, and then I picked it up. It's called The Unspoken Name. I don't tend to read high fantasies that much. Like I do tend to read like more urban fantasies, but this one, I don't even know how to explain it other than it's so immersive and good. Something unlike anything I've ever read before. I mean, honestly, maybe I feel like this is just a book you should go into blind because it's just that enjoyable. I was actually quite surprised that I ended up giving this one 5 stars. It's so interesting, and I did download the sequel, and this is a duology, Thousand Eyes, I believe. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick it up for this challenge. We'll see. Essentially, be picking up a mix of audiobooks that I have. I'm going to be picking up those in a mix of my current reads. I do have some poetry collections. I do have some graphic novels. Taking you with me. Because over here I have some of my Percy Jackson stuff. because I'm actually currently reading, I don't have it, I'm using my library to read The Mark of Athena and The House of Hades. I'm doing this all over the place, but I have read The Son of Neptune, which is the second book spin-off series, and I currently making my way through the third one, Mark of Athena, and then the fourth one is House of Hades. I'm currently like a little bit more than halfway in Mark of Athena, but I have not yet read The Lost Hero, which I know seems like so odd, but I do want to read it now. It would help with the challenge. And I have read these. I've read this one. I don't have the second one or the third one, but I have these two so I can read them, and I haven't read these yet. And I could also read some of the books that I have. The lighting is really bad, but I have some graphic novels. That's not the right one. Over here. Why is it doing that? I have more books over here, but we'll see. I'll walk you guys through what I end up reading. Essentially, all the books, well, the 2 books that I've read so far this month have both been 5 stars, which pretty good if you ask me. And yeah, I think that's it for now. And I'll keep you guys updated on my progress. I don't think I mentioned, but the titles that I end up getting, I'm gonna try to read most of those. Although I did get Jonathan Strange, and I think that's like 17 hours. And I want to make sure what I read isn't too long. So maybe I won't pick that one up for this challenge. But we'll see. And I'm gonna make sure I pick up short stuff too, because I want to be able to finish this challenge. Oh, I forgot to mention, I ended up starting a new book. This one is called Library of Legends. It is somewhere. Before I went to sleep, I think I was looking for this one book. Oh yeah, it was the sequel, but they didn't have that one. But I ended up looking for the 10,000 Doors of January, which I actually have. But I thought I might as well see if they had the audiobook, and they did. And there was a hold on it for like 4 weeks. But apparently I can borrow it now. Like that came in, notification came in like maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. Yeah, like yay me. Ended up finding some other audiobooks, and the one I'm reading right now is The Library of Legends, which I don't remember where I put. So I think it's in my cart. It's not in the cart. I don't know where it is. Where is it? Oh, I'm a dumbass. It's right here. It's this one. Okay, I'm dumb. But that is Library of Legends. I really like it so far. Not many thought. The blurb is China 1937, when Japanese bombs begin falling on the city of Nanking. 19-year-old Hu Lian and her classmate are ordered to flee. Lian and a convoy of students, faculty, and staff must walk 1,000 miles to safety, a journey marred by the constant threat of aerial attack. And it is not just the refugees who are at risk. The group has been entrusted with a priceless treasure, a 500-year-old collection of myths and folklore known as the Library of Legends. And I feel like that's like really what I've discovered. But that is, and it's like really short. Like I think it's like in 11 hours as an audiobook. this to look. Ah! I was thinking the text was going to be smaller, but actually it looks decent. Oh yeah, this is where I left off. Oh, from Treasure 21. That's where I'm at. It is day 5. I did finish reading all of the Library of Legends. And I didn't mention this before. Oh, I originally got it as part of Book of the Month. Actually ended up arriving a few days before it released. So I've had it for quite a while. And I remember thinking, oh, I could read this immediately, but I just never did. But I'm actually glad I didn't read it when it came out, because I think I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. And I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. And I thought I was gonna give it a 5-star. I didn't. If you take the story as a whole, it feels like it's more centered on the characters and what they're going through rather than the legends, even though I do love that aspect. It's not as prevalent, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm giving it more a 4.5. But in other news, I did finish that one, and actually I finished it after midnight, but I'm still counting it towards day 4. And I'm also counting the graphic novel Mark of Athena towards day 4, because I finished both of those before I went to sleep. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could count them towards day 5. I'm counting it towards day 4.
Read by January Lavoie. For Nick, my comrade and compass. 1. The blue door. When I was 7, I found a door. I suspect I should emphasize that word so you understand I'm not talking about your garden.
And today I ended up starting, well, actually last night. I actually ended up starting it last night. It's another book I own, but I ended up getting the audiobook through my library. I didn't really know what I was expecting, and it's interesting so far, but it's because like I've heard about it for so long, and it's kind of nice to like finally read the books that I own, you know. So I'm actually really glad I'm doing this challenge. That's it for now. Hey, so I haven't vlogged, so it has been a little bit, but I last left off of the Library of Legends, and I already mentioned my thoughts on those. The next read, I believe I showed this, and I already finished it. I finished this one yesterday, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. I liked it, but like the beginning, I wasn't sure if it was gonna the way it was written. You are being told the story through the perspective of January. Well, I did enjoy certain parts. There's like two different stories. They do come together, but like at first when it was like the first shift, I guess I could say, felt odd in a way. It didn't really feel so cohesive, which is I'm glad I listened to the audiobook. I don't think I would have been able to continue if I read it physically. It was interesting. I wasn't like gripped or anything like that. I just had this, I kind of thought it was going to be in a certain way and ended up not being in that way. I really enjoyed the concept of there like being doors, like January being able to open these doors. When it talks about these doors, you actually really get into how it works and everything, like what's happening to these worlds and how they connect and everything. And I really do enjoy those parts. It kind of goes into more like a research perspective, and I really enjoyed that. I wasn't expecting that, but then we get into like with January in the plot. It's not, it's just that it kind of takes away the whimsical and the fantastical of there being other worlds. Yeah, then there's Mr. Locke, the way he treats January, and it's the fact that like, and it's all complicated, but I don't really like the way like January's father just like decided it was okay to leave his child in the hands of this unknown man. Like, yeah, I mean, if you read it, you know. But I'm not gonna go like into spoilers, but it just felt like it wasn't as the plot with January and like with Mr. Locke and everything. What's it called? Society, but it's really only for the rich to be able to be a part of. Really, it just goes into like how someone with power to destroy anything like that they want. I get what the author was trying to do, because I didn't realize this was by Alex E. Harrow. Yeah, which I think it was interesting. I would have enjoyed it more if it had just been the whimsical, like just about the doors, finding out these other worlds without people with power. So if it hadn't been because of that, there were parts that I really enjoyed when I found out more about the backstory with Jillian, because I was actually intrigued about like this other world that he was from. What really drew me more into the story, and obviously like the doors, because I really I do enjoy reading portal fantasies. I have multiple things in the works that have to do with that, and then I was intrigued by the things that I've like written or plotted. They were relevant in this, so I thought it was interesting to read it from just another work that had to do with that. And it was interesting to read about, but I could see this being a 4, but it just wasn't ended up being more of a 3. Like, I still enjoyed it, but it's not what it could have been. That's overall like all my thoughts on it. It wasn't quite what I wanted from it, not quite what I was expecting. I actually ended up reading this most of it at night, and then yesterday when I woke up I continued it and only had like 2 hours left, so I finished it pretty quickly and I ended up reading so I actually ended up reading 3 books. Oh no, wait, I ended up finishing 4 books yesterday, and that seems like a lot. And the thing is, I even slept in late, so I'm surprised I managed to read as much as I did. But essentially, I read this one. This was a 3-star, and I actually ended up reading more of Alexi Harrow stuff. And I have been listening to, like, honestly, the library has been like my bestie right now. Looking into like new audiobooks. And I had 3 holds like come in today, and I ended up finishing, I can't remember the series name at the moment, but it's the novellas to do with like fairy tales. First one is called A Spindle Splintered, I believe, and then there's the other one, and I think it's a mirror something. But I read those 2 yesterday. The reason why I enjoyed them was because, well, they weren't that long. She wasn't able to pull out like, you know, with something of this length, but I enjoyed it. But I feel like she does have a certain way of writing that's like quite quirky, and I don't really like it. I mean, it's okay. It's not like, I guess for me, it's not the best. I guess it kind of just feels out of place when I want it just to be just fantastical. Her way of introducing a story and writing like the characters, I guess it kind of takes me out of the story. It feels, I mean, yeah, it feels modern, but I feel like modern stories without it being so like taking you out of the story. But I ended up enjoying those stories more, although I really enjoyed the first one. But I think the reason why I really enjoyed the first one is because it's a fairy tale, and I actually quite enjoy reading fairy tales. I don't know what it is, I just like the feeling of reading a fairy tale that I just immediately love. Yeah, I think that's why I ended up really enjoying the first one. And I did enjoy the second one, but I thought it was gonna have to do with a new, like, completely different character, but I realized it was the same character from the first story. But it kind of felt like, was there a reason for it to, like, did this really have to be written, you know? Well, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the romance between, what's her name again? The main character and love interest. I don't want to say in case I haven't read it. Yeah, I did enjoy it, but I think I did still enjoy the first one more. What I ended up reading after I read this was actually a webtoon. It's called See You in My 19th Life. I read the first one like during December. During like the last week of December, I was trying to like get all my reads in to read as much as I could. Continued with the entire webtoon. Finished it. I was so obsessed with it that I ended up rereading it. I managed to get up to like volume 6. I had read most of volume 6, but only had like 4 chapters, like 4 episodes left. But I just never finished them because that's around the time when my semester started, and I just never finished it. But I was like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling like the webtoon vibe. Immediately as I started it, I was immediately hooked again. And usually sometimes it takes me a while to get hooked. If I pick something up after like it's been a while, it'll take me like a good few chapters until I get back into it. But with this one, it didn't take that much. And I think it's just because this story just means so special to me, and it's definitely one of my favorites. One of my favorite webtoons so far. But I actually just really like the way the author, she writes the stories. And yeah, there's just something about the way she writes them. So I really enjoyed her other one, A Good Day to Be a Dog. Yeah. And I'm thinking of rereading that one too. I ended up watching the K-drama first. I still haven't watched the K-drama for See You in My 19th Life, but I really want to. But of course, like, my reading comes first. The plan is to finish reading this webtoon. I have like 6 volumes left, so I should get on that. I've just really been enjoying. I'm really like hooked. Like last night, I should really go to sleep, but I was like, I'm just gonna read a little bit more because I was like, I forgot how much I enjoyed it. If I'm being honest, I had kind of forgotten how much in love I was with the story. Then I ended up getting stuck into like reading Trials of Apollo series because of that I kind of forgot how obsessed I was with this webtoon. Something special about this webtoon, you know? And I can't wait to read. I can't wait to watch the K-drama. Yesterday, day 6, I ended up finishing this one, which is 3 stars. the volume 6, See You in My 19th Life, volume 6, on day 6, and that was a 5-star. And then I ended up reading 2 novellas. Those were, I think I ended up giving those 3 stars. I feel like the first one's more of a higher 3. The other one is more of a lower 3. This one's just like 3 stars. Those were all the books I read yesterday. I ended up reading more. Oh yes, I ended up reading more of the graphic novel, The House of Hades. Did I mention that I finished Mark of Athena? I was reading more of The House of Hades, and as I was reading more, I kept like stopping, like taking in all like Nico's parents. And the thing is, I remember when it came out, so apparently he got this like mug, and it's like so strange because like, talking about mugs, he just has this ginormous mug, and like it's even bigger than his face. I'm gonna show it once I get to it, but I just found it so hilarious because like where did he get this mug? Like, it's not like, was there a gift shop in like Tartarus and he like got it? There were some people like on Twitter being like, did Hazel get this for him at a gift shop? Anyways, I'm intrigued to like see all these other things. And something else I wanted to mention is like, he's talking with the crew like about the plans and like what they're gonna do next, but for no reason he's just like petting like a skull. And then there's like, because he is from back then, from like the 1930s, and he does have his nails painted, but like I feel like Nico being aware, this being something more feminine, I feel like he wouldn't paint his nails. The implication of that, Nico wouldn't want to do that because that would imply just so many other things that like he was forced to not be, you know, back, yeah, just being in that environment, you know. But yeah, those are all my thoughts. And today, reading a lot more, See You in My 19th Life, volume 7. And the thing is, it's actually kind of funny. Like, I was reading more, but because I have to keep checking on like how many episodes I've read to make sure like I count down how many volumes, like each volume has certain like chapters. I have to make sure I don't overread, but I ended up overreading, going over like 6 chapters. I hadn't even realized I had already finished volume 7 until like maybe like a few minutes ago. Volume 7 ends at like episode 73, and I was already at like, I think I said 6 chapters. It's not 6 chapters. I ended up being like 76. I read a lot more than I meant to, but I mean, this is how deep I'm in the story. Like, I just...
Tales of you, smoking weed, that's not me.
I forgot to mention, I actually ended up continuing another current read. It's the second book in a series. It's called Trespassers. It's a Greek retelling of Karen. He's like the ferryman. I found the first one intriguing. Characters weren't really doing anything for me, you know. I was intrigued by the first book, but when I started the second one, I wasn't as intrigued, so I just never picked it up, and I picked it up again today. So I was like, well, might as well pick it up. I ended up making a lot more progress. I just have like a little bit less than 2 hours left. It's not that much. I am liking it better, and I did the first one actually because the plot is picking up. I'll decide if I will pick up the third book because it is a trilogy. I guess we'll see how it goes. That was something else I ended up picking up today. Just realized I forgot to mention, but I feel like this challenge was perfect to finish my current reads. Stars. Oh, you can't see. I'm reading this one. I think the last time I read it was like the day before yesterday, and I think it was at night. yeah, it was before I went to sleep because I was reading some of my webtoon. So I haven't continued with this. I don't know if I'm gonna read this for like this challenge, but see. Okay, need to update for my reads today, and so far, so I continued last night after midnight. I ended up reading more of the webtoon See You in My 19th Life, volume 8, and I just finished it not too long ago. And yeah, I'm so glad I made the decision to continue it because it has to be one of my favorite like romances, more into like the romance genre. So if you ever need like romantasy, I would say, just because it does go into more in the fantasy aspect, but it's still quite like centered in the real world. So if you don't want anything like too intense on the fantasy side, then pick this up. And it does have to do with reincarnation, as you could have guessed from the title. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot, and I forgot like how obsessed I was with it. But yeah, I just love all the characters, and it's all like, it does have its silly moments, but it's just so, it's so good, you know? I ended up reading volume 8, and it is the 8th. It's day 8. I decided I was gonna do this, like, I think like last night. I've decided that each day I'm going to be reading a volume of this webtoon. I feel like it'd be, you know, kind of nice, kind of fun. The same volume number on the day it falls. So like today, like I read volume 8. So that is what I'm doing, and yeah. And I'm enjoying reading this webtoon so much. And I had forgotten like how much I loved, which I just said. But yeah, in this, yeah, I kind of forgot, but this definitely is one of my favorite authors. So I can't wait till she finishes the one webtoon that she's working on right now. Something having to do with like a disaster. Like that's the title, something with disaster. If you go on webtoon and if you type up See You in My 19th Life or A Good Day to Be a Dog, then you'll be able to look up the author. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I really do recommend it. And I can't wait to like watch the K-drama, but I think I'm gonna wait. I don't tend to watch K-dramas on like my TV. I tend to watch them on my phone or sometimes on my PC. I want to make sure I capture every single detail. Yeah, I'm enjoying the webtoon, and I think last night I mentioned Trespassers. That's the book I was reading that I started like back like a few months ago, but I just never finished. Honestly, I'm surprised I enjoyed it more, and I'm surprised the way it ended up going with the plot. I was very intrigued, but I wasn't like, I feel like the time for me to get obsessed, like the time has passed. And not to say like I couldn't enjoy it, like I did enjoy it, but it was okay, you know? Like I feel like the ship has sailed for me, for like my interest. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to read the third book, because it is a trilogy. If I'm going to give the third book a chance, I may, but I think right now I'd rather read books I'm really excited for. I'm not really excited for the next book, you know? I think something I may do is like read this every now and then. I'm not sure though. I mean, it's just poetry, you know? I may read one here and there. So, but this is an option. But I end up giving Trespassers 3 stars.
Can't believe I ran so far. I forget what happens next.
And of course, for the webtoon, it's 5 stars. It's always gonna be a 5-star, I think.
We never talked again. Man, I hate it.
That's essentially all the reading I've done now. While I was like doing this, Jana has just, apparently the sprints. I have just found out that the Blood of Olympus graphic novel is no longer a thing. Anyway, I'm so sad about it. At first, I was shocked I saw the post, I was in disbelief. I was like, what? Just so sad. I literally went through the 5 stages of grief. I think like I was actually getting teary-eyed because like I wish I was being dramatic. Like those graphic novels, like I love the series itself, and just being able to like read this adaptation, like graphic novels, it was so special to me. I'm so sad. And if you don't know, there is this moment between Will and Nico in that book, but instead it's not happening. Yeah, I am too stunned to speak. That's what's happening. I'm sad. I did read a little bit more of You in My 19th Life, and I know I was planning to read it more until tomorrow. I mean, it's almost tomorrow. I think it's like 11 p.m., but I just needed something to comfort me. Very sad. So, yeah. But that's that.
It's gone. Timber.
It is day 10 of this challenge. My room's a mess, actually. Okay, I found a new vlogging space. So I don't know if I'm gonna continue with reading House of Hades. Like, I know I mean, obviously I already started it, and I think I'm like maybe 10 of the percent way through, and obviously it's an easy read and I am really enjoying it. But because I was sad that we're not gonna get Blood of Olympus, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna be sad once I finish it, and once I know, you know, I'm not gonna be able to read the last part of the story, because it's only like, that was the last bit left, and I feel like I would have been okay with like not having other graphic novels, because the next one would have technically been The Trials of Apollo. It's sad, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know if I will be continuing that, and perhaps I'll read it eventually. You guys will see what happens. I did read a lot of See You in My 19th Life, and because that title is a handful, I'll most likely just mention it as the webtoon, because I think that'll be the only webtoon I'll read. I actually ended up starting a new book It's called Elsewhere. I was just looking through Libby. I was just scrolling through, honestly. I saw the cover. It just looked interesting. And actually, I was thinking maybe it was going to be more along the lines of Suefoot and maybe like The Handmaid's Tale. Because in the blurb, it does say, like, it's reminiscent of Margaret Atwood. I can't remember the title, but it's not The Handmaid's Tale. It's another of her books. And that's why I was like, oh. And the cover drew me in. And I really like the cover. It's honestly like art. And I started it on Tuesday. And then, no, I started it on Monday. But this was like after midnight. And then on Tuesday, I spent most of it at the start of the day. I did start it. Actually kind of surprised like how much it drew me in. And then I had to do some homework, but I kind of wanted to continue reading it. But then later on in the day, I ended up reading more of See You in My 19th Life. And then once the time came to like where I could have listened to the audiobook, I didn't want to because I was sucked into the webtoon. But I did end up reading it later on, and I thought I was just gonna be able to listen to most of it. I didn't think I was actually gonna finish it, but I did finish it. I was just more, like question mark, because I didn't really expect the ending. Like it does make sense the way it ended, and I feel like there's a certain like domino effect, which you will understand if you ever read it, and you will understand what I mean. I didn't expect that either. I was actually quite shocked, and I was like, oh, but it's interesting. And I didn't realize it was a dystopian novel until like I started reading it. I felt like, because there's certain books where I feel like you just can't necessarily rate it because it doesn't really measure to a certain rating, because it doesn't feel like this book applies to that. It feels inaccurate, you know, in a way, because I did really enjoy it. And it's a book about a woman's role in society, but in this society, like, women are detrimental to like this, like, for this town thrive, and like you're supposed to be like a mother, you know, give birth and like have a family and to be in a certain way. It says so in the blurb, but that mothers disappear, and I was like intrigued by that. So I thought that was like, it would be sort of like a murder mystery type of thing, or just a mystery, like where do these women go. But it does mention at the very start, all these women have an affliction and everything, and I could go into it. Do you want to read it? I feel like it's better to not know that much at all. There is a part of the book where I was actually quite surprised. More of the main character, her name is Vera. She ends up going, there's like a next chapter into her life, which I didn't expect to see, because it's apart from like what we're used to. Hopefully that makes sense. This happens like after like chapter 4, because the chapters are quite long, because there's only like 5 chapters, but like each chapter was like 2 hours each. So if you like your short chapters, I personally don't necessarily mind the long chapters. Like, I don't really mind if like a book has long or short chapters. This is one of those books that are like, the chapters are long. It's like The Secret History kind of vibe. But I did want to mention this just in case. But there is a part like after chapter 4, there is a situation where it goes into like non-consensual sex. And I did want to mention it just in case, because I only like breezed like through some of the reviews, and not to say like maybe someone didn't mention this. Vera is very much like still like getting used to things outside of her town. She doesn't really know like how like life is outside of her town. Because of that, she like thought she had to do something because she was lonely and like felt like she needed to do this. And because she has her own customs, and because of that, the man she ended up like sleeping with actually did her. So there's that too. So like if there's like anything like that you don't want read about, just know that. And I feel like it does go into like, you know, non-consent, because like he stops and then like, but he continues, just so you guys know if you don't want to read anything about that. it was interesting. And for a moment when we were seeing her in this new chapter, I was kind of thrown off. I wasn't expecting it, but it was interesting the way the novel was like done and everything. I did really enjoy it.
Turn back, dive into the fog.
And I decided to start with that one because that was one of the books I had on Libby for I think like a few days because it had already been there for a little bit. I decided I should read that one to get it over with. Something I wanted to mention about the webtoon is like there was this one moment between the two main characters, and they were so cute. I was like, ah! You know, whenever you see like a cute dog, you know, they're just so cute, it makes you feral. That's what I felt. Okay, anyways. And I also, for some reason, I had a hard time sleeping last night. Even though I was quite tired. So I was just like tossing and turning. So I ended up reading a little bit more of the webtoon, hoping that it would tire myself out. So like I would sleep immediately. And I didn't sleep immediately, but I did eventually, at least. Oh yes, and I did actually end up finishing it. But this one was actually quite short though. Like I felt like I just breezed through it. And yeah, it went by so quickly though. But yes, and I feel like I'm very ahead for this challenge. Yeah, like I'm already at like 14 books. So I'm like, once I finish another one, I'm gonna be halfway through this challenge. So, and to think I was worried about it, you know? Oh yeah, since I finished Elsewhere last night, I ended up not really like starting a book today. I just wasn't sure. And last night, I think this is after I finished Elsewhere, the hold for the Book of Doors. I've been wanting to read it for so long now. And I was like, why don't I read it for this readathon? For this challenge. So I got it and it came in and I actually was tempted to start it. But then this morning, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, like since that's the latest hold that came in, I'm gonna wait to read it. And I'm smarter to probably start with the ones that I don't have for that long, that have been there for a while. And one of the ones that has been there for a while is The Girl Who Drank the Moon. Maybe like 5% of the way through. I'm not gonna listen to it too much today. I think I'll continue it tomorrow. I feel like it's very reminiscent of a fairy tale. Like it just has that like feeling. It has that like format, you know. Actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to read this was because this was like ages ago, but I ended up finding this like website. One of my favorite people from my favorite group, she was reading it, and I thought about doing a vlog reading a book from my favorite K-pop group, Dreamcatcher, and only 2 of them appeared. And like in that article, I looked into the book, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and it sounded very interesting. So I thought maybe I should get it. So I think for now I'll just read it for this readathon, and then if in the future I decide to like do a vlog, then maybe I'll just like talk about it. You know, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Oh yes, and I did forget about the books I have on Audible, because I have quite a few books on there. And then also, like I mentioned before at the start, that I ended up getting quite a few titles. I don't want like the credits to expire, and so I have those. I actually forgot, but there's this one audiobook that I got like ages ago, but I ended up not reading it that time. Like I started it, but I just never continued because it wasn't the right time. But I thought maybe I should start it for this challenge. It's called Piranesi, and the reason why I remembered is because I recently got the audiobook for Jonathan Strange, and I've been wanting to read that for quite a while, towards the end, or once I finish like all 30 books, because it's like 16 hours, I think. It's a thick one. I didn't want to read like a thick book because I mean, obviously I'm supposed to be reading a book a day, but obviously I ended up reading 2. I'm reading like 2 a day now because of the webtoon and just like whatever I'm reading as an audio. And Piranesi is also 7 hours, so it's not that long. And I did want to mention this because I don't know, or wait, or did I mention it? I think I did mention it. See what happens like once I read all 30 books. Now I actually am positive I will be finishing reading 30 books. I feel like it's gonna be above that. And yeah, I'm having so much fun though. And yeah, I guess I don't have to continue after that, but if I feel like it, I may continue. But I think it'll be interesting to see. I've only been able to read so much because for the longest time, like I can't remember the last time I read this much. Like, and I've been, because like I'm picking up anything, like even the books I own, and that's it for. Oh wait, because I was thinking about like how much I was really loving You in My 19th Life, and since I haven't seen the K-drama yet, I was kind of tempted to start it, but I'm like, if I start it, I'm not gonna like finish my homework. I feel like I'm gonna get even more behind. So it's probably not the smartest choice. I just continued reading it from where I left off, but I kind of want to start from the beginning. It has been a few months since like I read those like first 5 volumes, and now I'm torn. So I don't know what to do. Or I could also reread A Good Day to Be a Dog webtoon, because that was actually the one I read first by the same author. So I'm excited about this new one that she's creating. It's, oh yes, and the title is A Disaster by My Side, something like that. But yes, I'm excited. I can't wait till I get to it. And I feel like she comes with like really like very interesting concepts too, which is really good to see, because yeah, and I feel like you can just tell like how deep and like how much thought she puts into these, and I love seeing like her art too. So yeah. And I guess that's it, but I am very intrigued by, and I hope she continues on like writing more stories, you know, and creating more stories. I can't wait till I watch the the drama for See You in My 19th Life, because I feel like I've been wanting to watch it since forever, since like the trailers released for it. It came out was like in 2023, and the thing is I wanted to watch it even before it came out. So like it's been a while, and then I kind of forgot about it. But then I read the webtoon, and I was like, it's by the same author, and like I was like shooketh, because I wasn't expecting that. But I'm so happy that, because she's definitely one of my favorite authors. So, and I think that's it for now. My foot fell asleep. But there are like Amazon short stories, and I found one by Alexi Harrow, Sylvia Moreno Garcia. She's the one who wrote Mexican Gothic, but she also came out with a short story. It's called The Lover, but these are just like very short, so I could always read those. And I also do have some books over here that I keep forgetting to mention. I was thinking I could read if I wanted to. This was in the romance section back when I got it, so I'm quite shocked. It's more about books. It has a suggested reading page, as you can see. I'm sorry, this is blurry. I have some books here, and this is one of them. So yeah, and I also have these. So there's quite a few I could choose from. Yeah, there's a lot of books I have here. Anyways, and that is it for tonight. And I am. Oh wait, so it's midnight, so I can finally continue with See You in My 19th Life. been a few days. So at first I didn't vlog because I think the last thing I mentioned was me finishing up See You in My 19th Life. I think what I was saying before was, because technically I only had like one volume left, I think, but there is like an extra 5 episodes, and I'm pretty sure the author like ended up writing those episodes because of the K-drama, because around the time I checked the date, around the time that she came out with those episodes was around the same time that the K-drama was airing. It was through like June and July, and I tried to look back to see if like I was correct. I wasn't misremembering, but I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, essentially I wanted to make sure that I was correct. I don't know, like, did I imagine that? And I couldn't find where I found it. Like, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's the reason why the author wrote those episodes. But then what I like about this author is the 12th volume is just like a spin-off. So the 12th volume is just a volume of like memories of like the past. One of them was of the past, like the first one, because there's like a few episodes and it has to do with like different characters. And if you haven't read it, I don't want to like say anything, but yeah, it goes into like the past a little bit, and then some future things end up happening like later on in the story. The way the author ended up like planning this, it was like really well done, and I feel like it doesn't drag. I feel like this time around I reread it, it didn't seem that long. But yeah, anyways, yeah, it has to do with something in the past, and after the webtoon ends, it takes place sometime after that. And I kind of like how she ended up doing that instead of like just dragging on the story, because I feel like the way she wrote it, it felt like the pacing was good and everything, and I feel like it didn't really drag for too long, or like she didn't do like unnecessary like plot points either. Yeah, that's what I really liked about this webtoon. And there's a lot of things, like I really like the way she writes, because I've also read something else of hers, A Good Day to Be a Dog, and I really enjoyed that. But I actually ended up watching the K-drama first and then the webtoon, and that's how I found out that the webtoon was by the same author as See You in My 19th Life, because I remember back when it was announced this was gonna be a K-drama, it was in the works, and I remember like being so excited for it, and I really wanted to watch it. But because I think at the time there was only like 2 episodes, when I remembered it was like already out, so I searched for it. I think it was like, yeah, there was only like 2 episodes, and I was like, I should wait. And then I waited till like all of it came out, and I no longer was in the mood to like watch it. I was like, I'll just watch it later, you know, when I'm in the mood for it. And actually I did finish this webtoon, and I enjoyed it so much because I was so sad, and I actually really wanted to watch the K-drama, but I was like, since I'm still reading, like doing this challenge, I'm like, what if I'm gonna watch the K-drama, I would like to have everything fresh in my mind. What I ended up doing is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the first 6 volumes, and even though I did read volume 6, I only read like the last like 3-4 chapters, but I want it to be like fresh in my mind so I can watch the K-drama. I have heard it's not as good as the webtoon, which is sad. You know, also, I'm gonna find out how it is like once I watch it. But yeah, apparently like the author like just ended up developing it more of a like relationship with the 2 second leads, and I really love them. Like I really do, you know? I guess we'll see how it is once I watch it. But yes, I continued with that one. That last volume, there's volume 11, which is like where the story ends.
I'll get it right this time. Go back.
Volume 12 is some spin-off episodes. It's kind of like that, wrapping up the story, you know, just giving us more like content, so I guess we can feel less empty inside.
Go back. Is it really gone?
It was the afterword. Then it's the spin-off episodes, but this one is called Spin-off Episodes Memories, but there's only 5 episodes. It's not marked on Goodreads or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure it's because it was just something that the author wanted to give us, and you can read it on webtoon for free. Like
Is it ever really gone?
that's what I wanted to note, because I thought that would be that is kind of confusing, because like at first I was like, wait, there are 5 more episodes. Like when I first read it, I was like, oh wait, there's more content, but still more content if you love it. I did ended up making more progress. The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and I was making slow progress with it. I finished it on Saturday. I did enjoy it. The thing is, like, I thought I was gonna enjoy it more than I did, because it did seem very fairy tale-esque, but like the way it was written, it was more like it was told to you as a bedtime story, and nothing wrong with that. This is something I found out like just last year, but I realized I don't really like it when a book is told as if it's being told to you. You're being told these things, we're not like really seeing it. We're being told these things as the characters going through them. Feels like they're telling us what they did rather than feeling like the characters going through these things, you know? Like it just feels like more removed, and it didn't change that much, you know? I didn't feel that way that much towards the end, and I did really enjoy the way it was going towards the end, but it's just a very interesting story. I don't really enjoy the way it was written, and not to say like it was bad writing, because it wasn't. It's just something I found that I personally don't like when I'm reading books. I like specific writing styles where it feels like as if I'm experiencing these things. Because in that book, it felt like I was removed from it, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy it as much. And I was taking my time with it. I don't enjoy that kind of writing style. Yeah. If you guys know any other books like that, please let me know. I don't really enjoy books like that because it feels like I'm not experiencing the story and going through like the characters' emotions and all that. Later on Saturday, finishing the last volume of See You in My 19th Life, like the memories, the spin-off memories thing, the 5 episodes, because I was like, I don't know what to do now that like I don't have it. And because I really wanted to watch the K-drama, I was like, I think I'll go ahead and like read it from the start, because I want it to be fresh in my mind. So I ended up starting the first volume again, and I was actually shocked. I am so shocked. I actually had forgotten like a lot. I started that one and on Saturday, and I ended up finishing on Sunday. Finished the 2nd volume on Sunday. Oh, I finished the 1st and 2nd volume on Sunday. Story time before I tell you which other read I picked up. So after finishing The Girl Who Drank the Moon, I had a lot of holds come in at the same time, and because they're all, well, they're different lengths, but they're not too long, they're due around the same time. Which one do I read? Because I'll decide one needs to like be read first, which book I have less time with. That's how I decided to read The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I was like, what do I read? You know what? I'm just gonna make a poll. One I really wanted to read. It's something about spirits. I can't remember the full name, but that one sounded really good, and it sounded like just very K-drama-esque. And a lot of the things that I like about K-dramas, I tend to watch fantasy ones, and I really enjoy the way the fantasy ones explored and done. Like for example, Lovely Runner. This is a time travel K-drama, and I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Although I feel like the second leads, I was actually kind of bored when it came to them, but like when it came to like 2 main characters, I was hooked. I love them and everything, and I thought it was just so interesting, and also the way they decided to tell it, because yeah, you know, it was just so good. One of the reasons why I enjoy watching K-dramas is for the like intriguing concepts, you know. And this book, that's what that book reminded me of. So since I was reading a lot of Alex Hara books in its vlog, which happened like quite by accident, I decided I would read, what's it called again? It's that gothic book, Starling House. Back when I first got my library card, I really wanted to get something in audio. I thought it'd be really fun. It wasn't like really reading at the time, and I ended up coming across The Unmaking of June Farrow. I decided I'd read that one first. Like, that was the book that was most forefront in my mind, that I was curious about, because I didn't really know what it was about. That was the book I ended up reading. And also at the time I looked at the poll, like maybe like half an hour later, I already had some votes, and I really wish I would have screenshotted it. The highest at that point was The Unmaking of June Farrow, so I was like, okay, I'll read that one. Ended up checking it like the next day. Starling House ended up winning. I think it got like 46, and then June Farrow was the second one, and I was like, oh well, this is awkward. And someone ended up replying to me like, read Starling House, I 100% recommend. And I was like, well, I kind of ended up already starting The Making of June Farrow because that was the highest at the time that I looked, and they were like, do it. Like, read Starling House. I'm sorry if I let that person down. Well, I did enjoy her fairy tale ones, and I did enjoy 10,000 Doors of January. Weren't the best ones, and I don't really like the way she really tries to make it quirky, and I don't like that. I don't like it when authors do that. Like, I felt like it was just trying to way too hard to make like these characters quirky and like so like modern out of the story, like right before, I mean, I hadn't even properly been into the story, but it still took me out of the story. So I will be reading Starling House. That is my next pick. Since I haven't talked about The Unmaking of June Farrow, I'm going to be talking about that. And if you don't know about June Farrow, because I mean, I certainly didn't know, apparently there's like a curse like within like the Farrow women. They have like, they get sick, and it's something like that's always plagued them each generation. She's like, June is resolved to like never marry, never have kids, because she doesn't want for anyone else. She doesn't want her kid to like have to go through this. She ends up finding out a lot of things that have to do with this. It is about time travel. I wasn't expecting, which I was quite surprised by. And the thing is, like, this one has to do, and also, why is it a red door? And the thing is, what's so funny, the House of Hades, that has to do, like, it's not quite like the same thing, but there are doors, and I mean, there's the 10,000 Doors of January. Well, it's not quite in the same way. The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heep, it doesn't necessarily have to do with doors, but there are like portals. They are entrances to like these other places, and it's not in the same way, but they're still like doors, you know? And then I'm actually writing something that has to do with like a red door. That's what I found so funny, because during the summer I started working on a story. I was like, I can't, there's also a red door. And that's what I find so funny about it, is like, what is in the air, you know? It just kind of ended up coming my way, I guess. And to mention what I thought about June Farrow, it was interesting, and I was actually very intrigued by the way it was going, and I can't explain it, the way like these things were happening to June. Like, I felt like the fear like seep into my bones, and I did really enjoy it. But I want to say it wasn't until like 35% way through that she's in this other like timeline, and it was kind of like, of course it's gonna be confusing, but I guess I thought she was gonna go back immediately, and the way the events unfold, like I was really intrigued the way it was going, but then what it ended up being, I was like, oh, this is what it is. And I did still enjoy it, but I thought it was gonna be something more. Of course, she found that like she really wants a life, and like that she was able to have it, but it was interesting. Maybe this is a book where I'm not gonna rate. It wasn't bad in any shape or form. I did really enjoy it. I wouldn't give it like a 4 stars either. The way it ended up going, kind of disappointed. It was really well written. It was interesting to see the way this book played out. It's not like a favorite or anything, so it is good. It's interesting to rate things of doors. Somehow doors have become a theme, which is hilarious. I believe that's it. Hello. This is quite a different place to, but essentially what has happened is I think I mentioned I was gonna start Starling House. Yeah. Oh, I think I said I was reading volume 3 or was gonna start reading it. Honestly, it's all blur, but I have made progress with the webtoon. Now I'm on, and I ended up finishing one yesterday. Yesterday was the 16th. Today's the 17th, and I finished one today. I think it was, no, I think, yeah, it was Monday. It was Monday night that I started Starling House. I'd already finished The Unmaking of June Pharaoh because I didn't have an audiobook. I went ahead and started it as I was getting ready for bed. Like at first, I was like completely caught off guard because for once, it didn't start with the quirkiness that I feel like the author often, or at least she did in the other books I read from her. I was shocked because it didn't start out that way, and I felt like it was a very promising start. You never really know if you're gonna like enjoy a book, but I feel like the way for me to see if I am gonna like it or gonna be intrigued by it is if I at least listen to like an hour of it. And I did listen to, I was already at like the 56 minutes mark, and I was actually quite shocked because I actually ended up really liking it. And I end up going like scrolling through Goodreads in the reviews, and what's kind of funny is like a lot of the people that I'm friends with ended up giving it like maybe 1 star, 2 stars, and then here and there like a good review. And I was like, I was feeling very strongly. Like, I really like the characters and everything. And I think that's just me. I prefer characters that are lonely because I'm a lonely person. So I like them, like both of the characters, Arthur and Opal. They're quite like outcasts as well. They're lonely, more so Arthur, but he's more those like classic characters, male characters and like gothic tales, just like mysterious and everything. And he's kind of like, I guess, well, not even that dark, but because there's all this like mysteriousness built up around Starling House and everyone who live in the house. So, but and I never realized, but I actually love it. Like, I have realized this vaguely, like just like briefly before, but I really like it when there's any mention of a house, like having it being alive itself. And I don't know why, but I really like that aspect. And I think it's one of the reasons why I really love Starling House. Yeah, and I was just like loving like everything about it. And Alex Harrow does like, integrate the fantastical with like real life, with the real world. I didn't like feel like the way it happened over here, it made sense. I feel like it was taking away from what was happening from the story, what I wanted from the story. And I feel like that was the issue with the 10,000 Doors of January. I just feel like it didn't fit for me. But with this one, I feel like it does weave like cohesively. And just wanted to say like how shocked I am by how much I was enjoying it. And I love it. And I feel like no one was more shocked than me that I'm enjoying it. Because, yeah. But I am now like, well, I was earlier, I was like 88% way through and ended up reading more. And now I think I'm like, because before I think I was like 2 hours and 30 minutes away from like finishing it. But now I'm like an hour away from finishing it. But the thing is, I end up reading more. And it's like, I think the third last chapter. And it's the part where like you kind of find out why things are the way that they are at Starling House. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to like reveal like things to people who haven't read it. So I won't I won't say too much. And this is why it's vague. But once it was revealed, I was like, that's it. Like it just felt like, I mean, I guess it makes, I think one of the things I like about more horror and like gothic is that when the reader gets to like figure things out for themselves. And while that can at times be like kind of confusing and tricky because like what's going on, I feel like that's what makes it like really good. I did want to mention this as well because I feel like even though it is gothic, it's only at certain moments that it feels like it's gothic because the tone itself of the book is not quite gothic because I feel like you can tell it's Alexi Harrow, like, you know, writing this from her other books that I've read. You can just tell it's her. Like, that doesn't fade away, even though, like, I'm not saying it should, but it doesn't make it feel completely gothic, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. So I feel like if you're looking for a book that like really emulates those gothic vibes and like with the writing and everything and the atmosphere, even though the atmosphere is still there, but the tone and the writing style doesn't really make it feel like that. So yeah, so there's that. And so found that out. Since we were told this, it feels like, oh, like that's honestly, that was my reaction. I kind of wish I'd found out through another way, or when Opal's like figuring this out in a way, I won't say, but it kind of feels like that's it. Like that's what she's gonna do to me. Yeah, I mean, this is just my reading experience. I feel like that kind of diminished my reading. But I still have an hour. Essentially, all I've read is Starling House. I'm shocked by how much I'm liking it. I've read a lot more of See You in My 19th Life. And it's actually so funny. Like, I forgot how much. There's just like these moments of like between these characters. It's not like it's funny. Well, I mean, some in the ways they act is funny. But there'll be moments where like it's actually not that funny, but like the situations that they are in can be funny, like in a, like it's not that fantastical. Sorry, I can't move the phone. It's very minimal, like with the fantasy stuff. Really, the only thing that makes it like that is, well, the title, See You in My 19th Life, obviously indicates that the person has lived for quite a long time, but she can reincarnate. But the only difference is that she remembers all of her lives, and there is a little bit of fantasy going on there, her being now in her 19th life. Yeah, it's so funny. There's this moment that I just got to, and I looked up how to pronounce his name. I'm scared I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. In my mind, I always pronounce it Sehwa. How I can't remember how. I think it's Soha. I'm gonna share it, you know. I'm gonna share it, put it here so you guys can like hear it.
서하라,
But it's him and Dohyun. I really love their like friendship. And I just love everything that's happening right now. I already read, oh, I think with Starling House, that's gonna be my 24th read. So I'm very close to finishing this challenge, and I think what I may end up doing is just finishing this challenge, and instead of continuing to read, I am going to watch See You in My 19th Life, the K-drama, because I really want to know what happens. Now would be the best time to watch it because I'm really like in the story, and we'll see how I end up enjoying the rest of Starling House, although it's going down. But yeah, anyway, but the good thing is it ended up surprising me, and I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. It is the next day. I've gotten ready because I'm gonna have dinner. Yesterday I did finish Starling House. Yeah, I still agree with what I said, knowing the reason why of like the way Starling House is. It diminished my enjoyment. Well, maybe not my enjoyment, but looking back at everything and now knowing why it is the way that it is, it's kind of like, oh. So I did still enjoy it, and it was nice. Because the thing is, like, with endings, with like epilogues, I don't mind it. It wraps up the story the way that like did with Starting House. I would have enjoyed it if we had gotten that from the perspective of Arthur or Opal, but because it was more like from just telling the story, just finishing up, like wrapping up the story, but it's telling you things about like both of them, but also about like the town. I did enjoy it, but not as much as I thought I would, as I haven't rated it yet. I'm not sure what, for me at least, there are books I can really rate, and there are some that I have difficulty to rate because I don't feel like it's a bad book, but it's not like a 5-star, but it's not like a 3-star, but I don't know, I don't feel like it's a 4-star either. I did really love a lot of the aspects it had, but it wasn't like a complete 5-star, you know? So hopefully that makes sense. My arm hurts. So I ended up finishing that today. I ended up reading a lot more of the webtoon, and I think I'm just gonna give myself some time to not read audiobooks for the next few days and just continue with the webtoon. Hello. It has been a minute since I last updated. It's the next week. I can't remember what I said, or oh wait, I was reading Starling House though, but honestly that feels like ages ago. I had kind of like a long weekend, and which I ended up mostly doing homework and some family stuff. I was reading the webtoon here and there. Nothing else has happened. Really been reading more of the webtoon. I'm almost at 30 books. Today I reached book 28. For the holds, I only have the Rainfall Market, and then I also have the Book of Doors. I think it's the Book of the Unwritten or something like that, and I've heard about it for a while, like a few years, but I just haven't read it. Thought maybe this could be the chance where I start it, but we'll see, because I'm not feeling the urge. And I actually have a headache. I ended up reading the Rainfall Market, and I started it. And it's only 6 hours. I started it yesterday. So like whenever you start a book, I'll get a feeling about it. With a lot of books, I would just be like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. With this one, it felt quite different. It was just like that rare feeling you get where you just know this one is going to be like a really good read. And that's what happened with this one. I was very like... I was in shock. I was hoping I would like it, but I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I did. Yeah, and there's just so many little things that I loved about it. I would love to read it again, because this story is about a character. She's very lonely. She doesn't really have anyone. She has her mom, but like she's a very lonely kid, and it's just, she has a very like sad life. She doesn't have that much to hope for, but she's heard a lot about the Rainfall Market, and how when, sorry, I couldn't remember the exact wording, but essentially, if you had a lot of misfortunes in your life, just dragged by life, essentially, can send a letter how your life is like, awful it is essentially, and you can send it to the rainfall market, but you have to be truthful. Apparently, like, they can tell, like, if you're not. And you can get these orbs, you can get a dream of yours, like something that you really want, like whatever it is your life is lacking. If you wish for that, then you can have that. Essentially, it's very interesting. And there's like these creatures. I looked it up to see how, because like I was listening to the audiobook and I can't remember how it was. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, so oh wait, hang on. Okay, it's called the dokebi. They are these like goblin-like creatures, and each time they would like interact with the main character, I was like like they were so cute, and the interactions with that she had with these creatures, I just thought they were so cute, and it just reminded me of like how I wanted to write a story, the specific story with a character with like these creatures. Well, not like these specific creatures, but like creatures in general. Yeah, like I love that. I loved everything that this story wrote. Although I will say at one point towards the end, she has like on the cover, she has a cat guide essentially. And like the cat is like helping her. But they get into, here, almost finished with the book. I think it was like 88% in. I'm sorry, this is like a weird angle. But essentially the cat is trying to warn her, and like she should have the sense to like pick up on like why the cat is doing these things, but she's like go away. And then she ends up, because like the cat, oh yes, a little bit backstory if you guys don't mind. So cats, and there are other cats, like other animals where they can like help. Oh, so did you know where other animals can help guide humans who are able to get these orbs? These goblin-like creatures like have their stalls, they have shops and everything. As what I understood from it is that you can go into a shop, but you have to like buy something or like whatever it is, and then you'll receive an orb in return. That's what you have to do. And honestly, the start of it, and when they enter the market and like everything about it is just so like beautiful, and it's so magical too, and it's like everything you could want, you know. And yeah, it's just so stunning. But anyway, as I was saying, obviously this cat was there to like help her, you know. But one of the things is like with this cat, she was badly treated in previous years. Essentially, she has a mistrust toward a lot of people, you know. And then she ends up getting really close to Saren. Yeah, Saren. Because I feel like I said it with English accent. But yeah, I was like, they end up creating this beautiful bond with one another. And I love the fact that the cat kind of became her animal companion. That's one of the reasons why I loved it, because I love animals. The cat is trying to warn her, but then Saren is like, no, go away. Like, why are you being so annoying? And the thing is, like, they did give her something to drink, but the cat literally tries to stop her. And she's like, why are you being like this? She like she doesn't understand. The cat is obviously trying to warn her, and she's like, oh no, it's probably like, but she drinks it anyway. And then she ends up saying some things to the cat, and then it's just like a comment, like a passing comment. But she says like, oh, I understand why your owners like didn't treat you well and everything. And while she didn't finish the sentence, but it got on my nerves, and I was like, the author ended up bringing that in because of the plot and the way the story was supposed to go. But it didn't feel like genuine. She was obligated to say it. So that's one thing. And another is a lot of people do quite a lot of throwing around the cat. And this cat can morph, you know? So like the cat is fine. But like there are a lot of people who like keep throwing the cat and like disregarding the cat and like just harming the cat in general by throwing him. I can't remember if it's a he or a she. That's bad. They do a lot of throwing around, and honestly the poor cat being constantly mistreated. One of the dokebi creatures tells Saren being able to have really good connection with a human again. The cat can actually go for rebirth essentially, and obviously they're still there because like still need to find that bond, but the cat ended up finding it with Saren. One of the things also I wanted to mention, and I actually love that part, there is like a mystery aspect, and like someone is stealing orbs. Some humans are they're all of a sudden like they're like gone because they have a place to stay in the market. They provide them with food, money, they give them these gold coins, but they have a place to stay. Yeah, someone's like taking them. And towards the end, once you find out like why, I mean, to me it kind of felt like it wasn't really necessary. I can see why now that I finished it, why it was necessary, because it was necessary to Saren's character arc, and I get that. We really need that. The antagonist, I don't know, I think it's just me, but maybe because I'm over those kind of plot points, I didn't think it was needed, like that last element. I can see why. I loved it, even though it's not quite a 5, but it was a high rating. I ended up giving it like a 4.8. Sorry about the single. but it is one of my favorite books now. It's such a beautiful story for me, and I love her interaction with a dogebi because these creatures are just like so cute. Interaction she has with them as well. Even though she is a lonely person, she ends up making like these beautiful connections with them while at the rainfall market, and also with the kitty. And then she also ends up getting a cat towards the end. This isn't like the same cat, obviously, although I feel like because the cat did end up getting birth, so I'm thinking what if, although the cat did appear before, like before she ended up going to the rainfall market. I think it was a homage to like the other kitty that she had all these memories with. Completely loved it and everything. It was a beautiful story. I also really like the narrator, so I'm gonna look into other things they've narrated. That was about it. And I'm just gonna read more of the webtoon, and I think I have 2 audiobooks left. It was raining, but it's not anymore. I was craving a cookie, and the closest thing we had an ice cream sandwich. Hello. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's raining. Like I mentioned this earlier. You can hear it. It's really loud, especially because there's like a fireplace right here next to me. So you can really hear it whenever it's gonna rain, especially like heavy rain. Some update. What ended up going down is it's really loud. I wonder if I should wait. My dog is spooked, so I think it's actually raining quite hard. I think I'm gonna try to make this quick, or guess maybe as quick as I can. You know what? I'll do this later in a little bit to see if it'll calm down. It's still raining quite hard, but I kind of want to talk. So I ended up just finishing the episode I was on Webtoon. The way the episode ended is like it started reading really hard. The main character, Jium, that's how I pronounce it in my head, so hopefully I'm saying that right. But it was like, you know, it was not like letting out. And I thought it was kind of interesting how like it's raining in that, and it's also like pouring, like, you know, right now. Oh yes, I think on Monday I ended up listening a little bit of The Keeper of Lonely Spirits. That's also an audiobook that I have on Libby, and I started listening to it, but I think my brain was fried. I just didn't have the capacity to like really start it, so I ended up like just pausing, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna be a book I was gonna be able to read immediately. I ended up starting it again like the next day, so yesterday. When I first started it, they actually are quite a few content warnings, so if you ever do think of reading this, it was the cover that like drew me in. but it's just like this immortal being, and he talks about being alive this entire time. There's not really anything he can do about it, but he is also a ghost hunter. He helps ghosts move on and like finding them, and it's really like all he has. It's his purpose in life, really. It's because of that particular like concept that drew me in, and I'm loving it so far though. I'm so glad that I didn't like return it. At first I was like, because as I listened to the content warnings, I was like, should I read this like right now? I'm so glad I did not return it. I really like it, and I guess I'm kind of caught off guard with how much I'm enjoying it, and it just reminded me of how much I enjoy ghost stories. And that really is like one of my favorite things to read about. I just love the spookiness, just everything about it, and I love everything. Like, I really do. I think I only have this hold left, and then I have, oh yeah, because I also have, there's this other one I got, but it just took forever to be available. The second one that I still have, I think I have like 11 days. The second book I'll be reading is The Book of Doors. I've been wanting to read for a while, and then the last one that I was talking about that I just got the hold like today, will prescribe you a cat. I checked and it turns out that was like the second one, so I ended up getting the first one, but that was like a really long wait. So I was like, well, I still have to get through like all of the other ones. It's getting kind of late, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. I'm also almost finished with this one webtoon, the volume of this webtoon, and I'm already at book 29. Hello. Okay, hello. It has been a few days and I've been reading quite a lot. I have a few updates. When I last updated, I think I mentioned I'd read a lot of the webtoon. I don't think I mentioned how many volumes I had left. I have made no progress with that because essentially my dog started to bark. I may end up pausing if it continues to bark, but I didn't continue because I wasn't really feeling it, and every now and then sometimes I'm doing a reread, or maybe just like while I'm reading a book, sometimes I will be very invested. It's not really gripping me anymore, and I think it is because it's a reread. I decided I'll just pick it up later. I mean, I only have like 3 volumes left, so I don't have that many. I do want to finish them sometime, but I decided to try something new books. Oh yeah, actually I didn't read anymore that day. I think I watched some of Jan's videos, a little bit of Dreamcatcher, their subunit. I was kind of missing them, so I watched a little bit of that. The first part of their documentary, the process of like doing their debut album. I really loved watching that, so that's why I was kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it again. Then I think yeah, I just kind of did that, and I realized how much I miss, because I'll watch vlogs every now and then, but I don't watch them that much anymore. But then because of that, I slowly started to watch other vlogs. So right now I'm watching Lexi's, and her videos are like so fun, and I was watching one earlier today and I feel like they're so fun, and she makes me so excited about reading too. She's just so enthusiastic about like what she reads. I think I mentioned the Keeper of Lonely Spirits, Peter, because did I mention his name? His main character, and I loved it. And it's been a while since I finished it, so it feels like I finished it like a decade ago. But I loved it. A lot of it just reminded me of this one K-drama that I watched. It's called Hotel de Luna, and the drama, it's also this character who is an immortal being, but she kind of has to like look after these ghosts, but there's just so much more to her story. But one of the things I kind of wish would have happened if we'd gotten more backstory into Peter's, why he's immortal. And we do get a little bit, but like felt like it was kind of lacking. But other than that, I just really loved it, and I think I ended up giving it like I think 5 stars. But it was more, actually all the books I've been reading, they haven't been 5 stars. Well, the recent ones that I finished, they've been more into like the 4.5, 4.8, because they've been really high readings, but they just haven't reached the like 5 star, you know? So this is why I pulled up Goodreads, so I can have it. Yeah, The Keeper of Lonely Spirits. And then I finished another volume of See You in My 19th Life. I finished the 9th. And then I started reading the 10th, obviously, but I just never finished. So
a significant light, just where it was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing, faces merge and change, but your face remained the same. The swallows will be here by dawn,
okay. Oh,
when we're finally sober, they'll be gone. The trees will bloom and ice will melt. We'll always remember how it felt.
I can't remember what I was saying because I keep getting interrupted. But anyways, I think I mentioned almost done with the webtoon, and then after The Keeper of Lonely Spirits, I had already read most of the holds. I had the next book. Okay. So funny story. I wasn't sure which audiobook I should pick up, and I thought the only audiobook I had currently on Libby was The Book of Doors. That was like in the forefront of my mind. That was the one that I picked up, and I managed to read, like managed to get through 30% in. So I read a lot. And then the next day, I think I was looking through all my holds and I realized that the Library of the Unwritten, because I did put that as a hold, but I wasn't sure if I was going to read it or not. And then I saw I only had like, what was it, like 4 days to read it. And I was like, oh. So, and then I started reading it on Saturday. I listened to like the sample because I wanted to see if I would read it. But back then I was just like, I wasn't really in the big reading mood. And I listened to it like on Saturday and I was like blown away because I love it, you know? And I wish I had known sooner that I was gonna enjoy it this much, you know? But I also feel like I'm reading it at the perfect time because I feel like if I read it before, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I am now. And yeah, it's like a library in hell. Like what more could you ask for? Like I love everything about it, and this is what I wanted, I think, because there's all this, like, it takes place in hell, also take place on earth, but it goes kind of like back and forth. And yeah, and while the characters themselves aren't characters like I particularly love or anything like that, but they're just like, they managed to really wrench my heart, you know, like tug on my heartstrings. It's interesting because I don't think I ever remember like a book like doing that for me, because usually I really have to be interested in the characters for me to be all in. But with this book, I'm hooked. Just so much has happened in this book. I didn't read it yesterday, but the thing is, the hold was due today, like at 3:44. And that's around the time I get out of class. Because I remember me requesting the hold around that time for some books. Why didn't I like request it later? But it's fine. I ended up not finishing it, you know, in time, but like I knew I wasn't. I ended up getting it as an audiobook on Kobo anyway, because I just knew, like, the more I was reading it, knew this was gonna be a book that I'm really gonna love. It's been a while since a book has made me feel this way. I have found a lot of books that are like favorites, but this is on a new, different level. Like, I love everything about this, and I think all this talk about like demons and angels and everything is really what I wanted from Shadowhunters, because I feel like CC only like breached the beginnings of like what I wanted from that, because I feel like the concept is so interesting. It's more just Shadowhunter politics, which I guess, yeah, I mean, I would have loved more about hell, like, because they do go to hell, you know, I mean, but it's, yeah, I mean, so, but yeah, I love everything. Like, I'm actually shooketh. The more I'm reading, the more I'm being shooketh. Oh yes, and I end up pausing the Book of Doors, because obviously my hold for the Library of the Unwritten was gonna be due first. So I paused the Book of Doors. So I started the Book of Doors like on Friday. I am enjoying it. Like, it's nice to listen to, and it's interesting, but honestly, I feel like it has nothing on the Library of the Unwritten for me. Like, the vibes, everything about it is just unmatched. So yeah, I love it. I love everything about it, and I'm surprised, because I mean, I was scared I wasn't gonna like it. Yeah, I think it's my favorite, and I would love rereading this. Yeah, this is a book that has endeared my heart.
A significant life, just what it was needed. Clean in the blackest night, cloistered in injustice dead. And in the eye.
Hello, and I ended up finishing the Library of the Unwritten, like after I updated. I ended up finishing it like a little bit before midnight. I ended up finishing that on Monday. That one is definitely like a favorite, the Library of the Unwritten, because yeah, I haven't like felt that way about a book in a while, where I read a book and love everything about it. And I'm surprised, because usually if I find like a favorite book, usually I find something I connect with a character. But in this one, it was not like that. Like, I ended up loving it because of who the characters are. So essentially, I finished that, and that was like my 31 book finished. I ended up finishing up Book of Doors. I ended up finishing that this morning, and I was sad because I was thinking if I finished it, I could finish with like 33 books, you know, but I finished it today. So at least I started today strong. The Library of the Unwritten is 32 and the Book of Doors was supposed to be 33, but obviously it's 1 because like I finished it today. That is it for this vlog and thank you for watching.